see what that key goes to. This is the easiest way to level up stealth.
You've no business here. Clear off. Hey! Right there. I'll be with you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
Aye, there is one fellow with a limp. Can't imagine what you'd want with the likes of him. Well, that's your affair. He lives in a cottage on the edge of the village by the road to Neuhof. Good luck to you.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff. Kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. or all that's left of him.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubos?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
How come he limped?
He got that from...
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Another thing about Lubos. When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream. Hey! Watch it!
Watch where you're going.
Look where you're going.
I don't know why, sometimes I get more FPS when I turn the graphics up.
Watch where you're going.
Let's see.
going on there?
Well, I never.
So, give me some help. Good day to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
What a little punk.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately. Not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a strange one. Always drinking. Bad temper. Lord knows how he made a living. Well, maybe now I've got an idea or two.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait. Are you saying...
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
That's all. I'm looking for the local groom. Where can I find him?
If he isn't in the stables, then I've got no idea where he's got to. Good luck to you.
Something you're looking for here? Back trouble? Oh.
Blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Wow. As much as I'd like to beat it out of him, looks like I'll have a better chance of using my royal persuasion.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that, when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can.
What?
Because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right? Thank you, Father.
Sounds
I'll
fair.
be with you.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul things go into those concoctions. I'd hate to see her poison some poor gullible lass.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Consider it done.
Good.
Sounds familiar.
Never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods. Farewell.
Yeah. Wait, are these all the ones that I'm tracking? Okay. Well, that's how you do it. Okay. See if I can do this with the keyboard. It's almost impossible with the controller. Dang it. Never mind. It's like the hardest lockpicking minigame I've ever seen.
Yeah!
Gotta be here somewhere. Pretty close. We'll take care of this blasphemer quickly. So women are very susceptible to the dark arts. They're very much in feelings over facts. Same as it ever was, right? It's like if somebody gets sick, they're just like, here, drink this magic potion and it'll make you feel better, and we'll pray to the monkey gods, you know? Which is interesting because, you know, this bit of rationality came from the priest, you know? So he's like, hey, wait a second, this could get somebody sick. Save my game. Let me see what happens if we just. Take all our herbs. Loot, nothing to loot. So is that it? Can we, what if, wait. Here's an idea. Because I really need to sleep. I haven't slept in so long. Can we just... oh my god. This is so crazy.
What do you want?
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask all you want, lad.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
Those that live by the sword die by the sword. I'm not surprised the end he came to.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Everything about him was suspicious. I always gave him a wide berth.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
How would I know?
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
I don't know, since I don't go to alehouses.
That's all. Thank you. I've come from the priest. They're saying you incited some women to witchcraft.
Me? Witchcraft? That's nothing but idle chatter.
Don't you know that witches get burned alive?
There's no need for trouble. I'll tell you everything. I've done a very foolish thing. It's preying on my mind so much I can't sleep a wink.
But I'm supposed to believe an old witch has pangs of conscience.
Laugh if you like, but it's not a word of a lie. You probably know I sell various magic lotions and potions alongside my herbs. Well, there's one I wish I hadn't sold. You see, Vera, Zlata, and Kuta from Uzhitz wanted a magic ointment from me. I kept refusing them, but in the end, I let them talk me into it. It's not a word of a lie.
What kind of ointment was it?
One that will show you a world no one else can see. A place of wonder and terror. The flowers might start talking to you, or the earth could swallow you up. I don't know if it's the work of the devil or of God himself, but the ointment has that power. But it could poison any person who doesn't know how to use it right.
So all this talk of witches anointing themselves and then flying to their sabbaths on broomsticks.
The ointment could make a person see such things. But it was stupid of me letting those foolish women get their hands on it. They could poison themselves or fall off a cliff while they're lost in a dream.
Will you give me the ointment recipe?
It contains belladonna and the herb Paris, both quite poisonous plants. That ought to make you think twice about dabbling with it.
So why did you give them the ointment at all?
Because I'm soft-hearted. You see, one of those women, Vera, lost her whole family in Skalitz. Hanslada's husband was killed. And the youngest of them, Kuta, miscarried with the horror of it all. They said they wanted to use the ointment to speak with the dead and ask them to put a word in with the Lord.
I understand how they feel. But I reckon it'll get them nowhere but the ducking stool and the stake.
Judge not, lest ye be judged. I didn't want to give them the ointment, but they offered me a pile of groschen. So I thought how desperate they must be, and I heard their plea.
Their plea, or the clink of their coin? And why are you so worried about them all of a sudden? What changed your mind?
I'm losing sleep over it. Firstly, those women don't know what they're doing. And secondly, folk might see it as witchcraft. And do you know what they do to witches?
They burn them alive.
That they do. So don't be surprised I'm worried.
It didn't bother you before, though. What did they want the ointment for?
Each one of them lost a loved one recently, and it's grieving them. They wanted to talk with the dead.
I've heard enough.
If you've heard enough, you must understand why I need your help. Find out from those women what they intend, and watch over them to keep them safe.
Very well. But only because the priest himself asked me to.
Thank you 1,000-fold. I'll go to the Reverend myself and explain. You take care of those women. Well, if you want to talk to me again, do it when I'm awake. What the...
Would you teach me something about medicinal herbs?
Are you serious? You want me to teach you after what you did
Dang
here?
it, I should have asked her before.
Come when I'm awake.
I was thinking about that.
What?
Okay. See if I can sell back all the stuff I just stole from her.
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, so...
Yes.
Agree?
That sounds pretty interesting. A little less, and I'll be satisfied.
Well, that's a decent price.
Look out! What the fuck?
Let's talk to this guy. Maybe.
Damn. Hey, watch it.
Doesn't want to talk. Hey, watch it. They might get mad when they see the bloody bat. I know a lot of like the game critics were kind of upset that there wasn't any black people in this game, but I guess the fringe benefit of that is that I don't really have to feel bad about going around bludgeoning random citizens to death. You know, it's all white on white violence, so no brothers were harmed in the making of this video game. That guy just like randomly changed clothes, or he's like, oh, he's like outer set of armor popped in.
That weapon?
Yes, he's mad.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was...
Like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
Farewell.
What's I supposed to be doing? What is this guy doing?
How are you?
Have you
Starting to
thought
like
of a way
this
to
guy.
help me solve that murder?
Let's leave it for the evening. Come to the tavern after sunset and we'll talk it over.
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practiced with a stick. Reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form. Bye.
Kind of looks like Kevin's Spacey.
Watch it. Damn.
Which is kind of disturbing that he's a priest.
Good day.
See if I can sell that salami.
Let's have a word about the price.
Naturally. See now, I knew we'd come to an agreement.
Oh man, I feel bad. This guy's kind of dumb. Like, I got 20 gold for
What are you doing? Are
an
you
old
up to
salami. What are you doing? Oh, sorry, buddy. No, 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 no. I didn't mean it, man.
What do you need?
I've come in the name of
Of course,
That's all.
Bye.
The local tavern.
This way you're going.
So supposed to wait till sundown. What? Why didn't he come sit down by me? There's like these 4 randos in the pub.
We get a move on, because you stink like a beggar's
Oh,
armpit.
come on, man.
The parish priest here in Ujis, he's a peculiar sort of cleric. I noticed he's quite handy with a sword.
He is indeed. He's as hard as nails. More than once he's intervened in a brawl in the tavern and sat everyone on their asses. He's not to be taken lightly.
I doubt he acquired those skills at the seminary.
You know how it goes. The nobles send their youngest sons to study for the priesthood, and our parish priest has blue blood in him. He probably learned to fight at home before he went to university. That's how it goes with those aristocrats. But I heard something happened and he was roving the world for a while. I don't know what he got up to though. Bye.
Bye.
A tankard here.
Good day. I've no time for this.
How are you? Bye.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh. I'm sorry. What about your kin?
Tankard of ale for me.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There's a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest.
And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
You think I'm too young for the job, Father?
I do, to tell the truth.
Well, I can only apologise for my lack of grey hair and gout.
Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyle? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhoff stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claim. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. You noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. As people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Uzhitz isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Wow.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of?
He's certainly a wise man.
My
A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
Do you like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
God bless them.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
To nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panuje sej smutek, dodnielno I rano utek, niech ich małżeński
I honestly had no idea the drinking was like skill until just now. But I guess that makes sense because when you drink it enhances combat and stuff.
Enough of this! Bailiff! Come over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh, come on. Oh. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Come on, then, bailiff.
Is that all you
want
got?
to fight? Well, come and get it.
Whoa.
Bit of a puncher.
Yeah. No.
Fucker!
Ah!
That's gonna cost
La
you
turba.
alive.
I'd love to. Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What do people say?
Say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon. Look where you're...
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
What am I supposed to be doing? I'm blind drunk. This is crazy.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Yeah, that was kind of unexpected. Father Godwin seems like a pretty cool dude. This is the like second
Godwin,
time
you beast!
this game has subverted my
Get up.
expectations with a
Do you hear
major
me?
character.
Wake up,
Just like
you
with
drunkards!
Hans,
Oh.
you kind of expect to hate this guy when you first meet him, but
Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me. How? You're the priest. I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Radzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishops can have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Oh, wow.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, all right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubos.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
What is it?
Still a little hazy.
What's the matter with you? We have to start mass. It's already late.
Never show up. It's a swill.
Look, he can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who's here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So Henry, you may begin.
Curious which one of them will cue first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point.
Brothers and
I'd like to
sisters.
talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines? Even though only marital intercourse, for the purpose of procreation, is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin! At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honor to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, Dapples. A young man shouldn't drink so much. But the law's given him a
Glad
silver
he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. He told him nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent. I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Well, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin,
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubos tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you?
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. And his conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that He didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. Anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Jesus, look where you're going.
What is it? Careful. What the hell
You'll
is
see.
going?
You might be right. She never was a one to break easily.
Oh! Which way are you going? Look where you're going.
I heard something about a magic ointment.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
The priest is concerned.
The priest can go to hell. All he cares about is filling his belly. And then that bastard talks down to us from the pulpit about temperance and humility. It's because of his sword the Lord sent the humans here that killed my husband and children.
You do know that what I've heard amounts to a burning offense.
What do I care about burning? Everyone I loved is dead. There's nothing left for me to lose. And I've got nothing to say to you. What I do at night is my own business.
I heard something about a...
You heard that?
The herb woman said.
Gertrude? What does she want? Haven't we paid her enough?
She'd like to know just what you're planning to do with it. She's worried about it.
What made her change her tune? You can tell her we plan to do exactly what we agreed, and not to worry.
What's going on? What?
Well, I mean, the witch is dead now, so I can't imagine how this is going to play out.
Come now.
Now I'll teach you what clear off. You should have thought twice about what you're...
Oh well.
You've paid for your crime. Who's there?
I've heard something about a man.
Really? I'd like to know where from.
The priest.
The priest?
That's enough.
Oh, it's threat.
Could do with a bite to eat.
I've heard something.
Really? I'd like to...
The herb woman's.
Gertrude?
She'd like to...
What made her change her...
Hey!
It came from over here.
What is it?
Good day to you. I'm looking for the local group.
Well, you found him.
The Lady Stephanie of Talmberg sent me. She said you have a roan ready for her.
Well, Chamberlain Dietrich said someone would come. We have him here, but if he's ready, I can't say. That miserable horse will let you saddle him and walk him around the...
I'll handle it.
If you think...
I'd like to discuss the price.
Well, we can try it. Finally, a reasonable sum.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Why not?
What do you say to this?
Close. Drop the price a bit more, and we'll shake on it. Aye, that would do it. Hey, watch it! Hello?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Shame I can't swim.
What?
Yeah.
Get over there.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What? No.
Blood will be spilt! Jesus Christ, have mercy! Look what's come crawling out from under some rock.
Take your hardware and get the hell out of my sight.
Thank you. I won't forget.
Jesus Christ, a thief! Guard! Come here, quick! There's a thief over...
I'm looking for someone they call...
Jesus!
Hinek?
That's his real name. I doubt he likes his name.
No, I don't suppose he would.
Try his folks' house.
What can you tell me about this Hinek?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular.
Why not?
Well.
Shoot, I thought it would auto-save when I slept. Oh well.
I'll be with you.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Do you...
Riki? You mean Hinak, the courier's son?
Maybe. Do you know where I might find him?
No, he's not usually around here. Try asking at his home. But I hope you've got a thick skin. The old courier ain't exactly charming.
So you know this Hinek?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
Well, no one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
So you know this Hinek? Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
Well, no one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
What can you tell me?
He's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Why do they call Hinek Riki anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you ever get downwind of him, you'd understand. Tanning isn't a trade for a weak stomach.
True enough. But not every courier gets cursed with a name like that.
Well, Inox nature's no sweeter than his smell.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his old man, he doesn't talk much to anyone. And then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Rattay for thieving. And in Neuhoff, he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits?
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
Well, he's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called. Oh well.
What are you doing here without a light? You better get...
What are you staring at? The bars are for paying guests, not idlers with nothing better to do. You can't...
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing.
May the Lord watch over you.
Hey!
Oh, that's not what the key is for? Okay. There's another one up here.
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
I just wanted to ask you a few questions. It's not my business how you live your life.
I'm glad to hear it. Some folk don't care for the way I make a living.
I can imagine.
So what about you then? You look a bit careworn. A bath with a bit of company might do you good.
Maybe later, sweetheart. Right now, I have some questions to ask.
Ask away then.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
Look, Hinek's my friend, and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms, no. More like hares or other game.
So Hinek is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He keeps prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it. But he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye. And then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl, and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me, and we could get married and such. All just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No. I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding in the western corner.
All right, thank you. Another thing about the money...
What is it?
Is it true?
What?
Other whores wouldn't go with him even for money.
The other bathhouse girls are honest, so I don't know. The truth is, I felt a bit sorry for him. Folk don't like him, but it's only 'cause his old man is a grouch and a tanner.
I heard they don't like him because he keeps company with villains.
True enough. But they didn't like him before that either. Or me. They're close-minded yokels. Both of us are the black sheep of the village.
There's nothing more between you?
No, nothing. Maybe Hinek thinks differently, but that's how it goes. Take care.
Hey! Look where you got...
Has something happened?
I'd like to order something here.
Uh-huh. And what do you want?
Get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
As you wish. Do you have the coin?
I'm not giving you that much.
And how much are you willing to pay?
Satisfied?
Well, a little. You won't regret.
I'm interested.
And what is it you'd like?
Physician.
That can be arranged.
That's too much.
As you wish.
I'm interested.
Uh-huh.
I've heard you have nice girls here.
That can be arranged, but you'll pay in advance.
I'm not giving you that much.
And how much are you willing? You won't regret spending. Right.
Take care.
Watch where you're going.
I'd like to make you...
Uh-huh.
No, dear. No. I'm interested in your...
So what you interested?
No. No.
Sure. Watch where you're going. What are you doing? Ow! Watch where you're going.
Yeah.
You nearly killed me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Whoa, 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 easy.
What is it?
I'd like to,
So what you in?
actually...
Bye.
Jesus, look where you're going.
I'd like to
Uh-huh. And
get myself... I'm not giving...
Sure.
I'd like to make you...
Uh-huh.
I've,
As you wish.
I'm not giving you that.
And how much are... Bye.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Be a bit more careful. Be a bit more careful.
I just want to...
What do you want to...
When did you last...
A few days ago.
And that was on you.
I never...
So he was acting...
He was...
Another thing...
What is it?
Hey, you! Halt! You! Stop right where you are!
All right, you win!
Surrender! Caught you.
What?
Don't pretend you don't know what's what, you whoreson. If it was up to me, I'd send you... What? got you at last. Now, what? Don't. It's jail.
Look,
You.
put me in.
Good day to you.
I noticed the targets.
I noticed you're asking questions.
No, I'm Henry, of Scalets.
From Scalets? I'm Vatek, from here. Why are you so curious about the targets?
It's just that I sometimes try my hand at archery too.
Try your hand, do you? I know plenty who do. When you can score as high as me at chumps, then I might be impressed.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Never played chumps? And you call yourself an archer? Chumps is a game for real archers. It tests your strength, stamina, and accuracy. And it can be a nice little earner.
So what exactly is it?
I'll tell you. A bunch of logs are floated down the river. Then you count to 20, and the archers run along the banks after the logs. At the end of the course, someone collects all the logs and counts the strikes. Whoever has the most, always meaning me, wins the bout. Each archer has 20 arrows with their own colored fletching, and the contest ends when the last log floats through the finish line.
Sounds like good fun.
Fun? My friend, it will bring you out in a proper sweat, and you'll be well pleased to hit just 1 or 2 blocks. So how about it then? Fancy a bout? You'll need your own bow, but I'll supply the arrows with colored fletching.
Absolutely.
Come on then. Ah, one more chump. Excellent. Now you have to bet at least 10 groschen. 50 at most. There'll be 3 archers competing at the time. The winner gets triple his wager, and the second gets his coin back.
I don't want to lose this.
That's the betting over with. Now here are your arrows. Good luck to you.
Oh.
And now, I'll see you at the finish.
I've got this. Easy.
Sakra. It's hellishly deep here.
Almost had it. Hit home. I won't miss the next one. Bloody hell, the wind took it.
Another on target. You've no chance against me, amateurs.
God be with you. So you know... Not. Why's that?
No.
Farewell. Don't you start.
My respect. Take care.
I need to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
Another on top.
Why are you creeping around like a...
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.